books that are coming soon. If you missed our San Diego announcements, we announced a ton of new things, including not just video game art books, but starting in 2012, 2015, we're going to be doing anime-related art books as well. We're going to have a whole new line of stuff.
We didn't start small.
We did not start small.
It's all good.
So, the next book that's going to be available from UDON, not counting the manga, is The Art of Darksiders II. Joe Madureira presents The Art of Darksiders II. Here's the full cover here. This is a spectacular book, and actually, again, this is one that Matt laid out from scratch. There's no counterpart. This is our book. The companion to the game that's out now is doing really, really well. Tons of Madureira's artwork inside of it as well.
If you haven't seen the first book is just unbelievable and gorgeous. And there's a whole ton of artwork that wasn't used in the game. And we assumed he was going to use in the sequel. No, they did even more.
There's guys like, there's a guy named Paul Richards who's one of the artists on the game, and they'll ask him, like, okay, can you design a demon? Like, okay, here's 30 demon designs. So all that stuff is in here.
And for those of you who haven't seen Art of Darksiders, the first volume, it's been out of print for a little while. We're actually doing a new printing, an all-new printing, that'll coincide with the second volume. That'll be out middle of November. Art of Darksiders 2 is out at the beginning of November. Oh, here's some of the artwork from that. These are Joe Madureira's character sketches and designs. And this was our big announcement at San Diego. This is when people kind of lost their minds a little bit. There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. Dun dun dun.
I told you we went big.
Evangelion Chronicle illustrations. The original Evangelion series is still going strong. Not even counting the new Evangelion 1.0 and 2.0 movies in Q, which is coming up soon. In November, we're going to be releasing Evangelion Chronicle illustrations, which is a book of all new original artwork that was created outside of the series for the official, it was called the Evangelion Chronicle, and it was a 30-volume, like, tiny little magazine binder insert thing that they just created tons and tons and tons of illustrations for that were never available anywhere else and have never been printed in North America. We've got a book with all of those, and it's actually going to be printed, this will be the largest, physically largest art book that UDON's ever published, right? It's
so
like,
far.
Yeah, so far. Yeah. It's really big, and we decided to keep the original Japanese formatting on that. So if you're an Evangelion fan, don't miss out. But the thing that was really exciting for some of our fans is that we're actually going to be translating and completing the Chronicle series. So if you are really into the mythology, if you're really into the backstory, how everything connects in Evangelion, these are the official canon, this is what happened in Evangelion books. Evangelion Chronicles Side A and Side B. That covers the original 26 episodes, the Death and Rebirth, and End of Evangelion. So if, like me, you've been waiting for an English language source on what actually happened at the end of Evangelion, it's coming next year. I'm eagerly awaiting the translations myself. Next books, History of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's caught us by surprise that there hadn't been a Sonic art book ever in North America, because there's been hundreds of comics, so many animated TV series, all that kind of stuff. Matt, can you talk a little bit about how Sonic came to be?
Yeah, actually, well, funny enough, we were talking with Sega about doing some projects, and we were going to pitch them based on this idea when one of our editors heard that a group called Pix and Love in France was already basically doing this, but they're doing it in French. So, and we already know them because they also import American art books and sell them, and they sell our art books. So we gave them a chat and teamed up with them to bring out an English edition. We did a lot of work on this to make sure it was perfect English, so a lot of research. Dates, our editor, Ash Paulson.
Sorry, he's actually, can we embarrass him? Ash, can you stand up, please? And everyone, if you like Sonic the Hedgehog, you owe this man a round of applause.
I'm going to brag a little bit too to Ash. Ash has been invaluable to the company. He came on at first just doing, he's a huge Mega Man fan, and so he brought his knowledge of Mega Man for the art books that we were doing on that. And then we got him to do some copy editing, and then we got him to do some other editorial and some file organization. And tirelessly, any task that we give the gentleman, he will jump in. And now he's a full editor.
And on top of that, needless to mention, well, actually, it's worth mentioning. He's driven hundreds of miles with small vehicles filled with entire boatloads of product. He has a convertible, and we we had to commandeer, and he brought all the stuff down to SDCC in his convertible, and it was like piling out the back of it. And so he's a real team player for that aspect as well too.
We love you, Ash. Thank
I'm
you.
happy to be part of the team.
Pack horse editor. Yes.
So Sonic is going to come out in English, and it's actually going to be out the first week of December, and it's going to be amazing. We did a ton of work to really make sure that this was the definitive resource on Sonic the Hedgehog, so we hope you all enjoy it. Next up, Tony Taka fans. We have another Tony Taka Shining book. This is Shining Hearts. I can't remember what the subtitle is. Is it Official Complete Works or Artworks or? I can't remember. Materials.
I think it's illustration collection.
Right.
The low.
Basically, do you like Tony Taka? Well, here is 200 more pages of amazing Tony Taka illustrations. He is the premier girl pinup artist in Japan right now, and these are all original illustrations that he put together for the next Shining game. Interesting side note about this one: there are 2 or 3 full pages of illustrations of bread that were in the game.
Gorgeously rendered red.
Yeah, like gorgeous bread, digitally painted. You can actually, I think you can see it in like the picnic basket there, some of it. But it was just 3 pages of different kinds of bread. These people really put a lot of work into their their role-playing games, and it shows on the page. Here's some character designs as well. I didn't put the bread in because that's ridiculous.
There wasn't a lot of like rough character designs in the first Tony Taka books that we did, so you get to see a lot more of that behind-the-scenes stuff in this one.
Next up, Read or Die official archive. So yeah, this is going to be actually the second release. Evangelion's coming out a little bit before it, of our anime art book line, and it covers, as it says, the OVA and the TV series. The artwork in this is really gorgeous, and we've gone all out to print it. I think if you're a Read or Die fan, this is the book that you thought would never actually be released. So that'll be pretty great. It's in the previous catalog right now, and it should be out December, January.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
Did we do this for the sole reason that this is one of Eric's favorite? Yeah. So this is Eric Coe's, our CEO. This is just one of his favorite things, and just I just want to translate this one.
It's one of the things every so often. I mean, we are big fans as well, and that's one of the nice things about being at UDON is sometimes, you know, there's products that we do because it makes sense, or we got a relationship with the companies or whatever, and sometimes it's just like, hey, this is awesome. We should do it because we think it's awesome, and we think you'll think it's awesome. And Read or Die is one of those ones where Eric's like, yeah, we'll just do it.
And I'm hoping it surprises us too, because the artwork is pretty great. So here's next up. Here's what you can expect for the first few months of 2013 and beyond. First up, Valkyria Chronicles 3. The book that we refused to announce that we were doing until it was already in the catalog.
I can't tell you the number of people that showed we're buying Valkyria Chronicle 2 from us, and they're like, are you guys doing 3? And we're like, Are you doing 3? And we're like, the contracts are flying back and forth. And we're like,
It's like 400 pages.
this one is 256. If you don't know, Valkyria Chronicles is a popular strategy role-playing game, sort of like an alternate World War, like I think between World War I and II. But the first 2 games were released here, and people loved them. But the 3rd game was never released because I guess the second one didn't do well enough in English or something. But so people have been clamoring to sort of read the rest of the story in English. So indeed, our art books are super detailed. The guys in Japan put them together. There's so much information in it. So you actually, fans of the game will get to finally complete the story.
Yeah, the story, the plot, all the different vehicles that are in it, and lots of sketch material in this one too. In addition to the character pieces, it's a pretty great book. So it'll be out. We just announced it actually for December. It slipped a little bit because we have so much stuff coming out in December. It's going to be coming out the first couple weeks of January 2013. Next up, The Art of Brutal Legend, which not a lot of people were expecting us to do because it's a North American game. But honestly, we saw the artwork for this game and for this book, and we were just blown away. This is actually going to be, again, one of the most physically large. I didn't realize when we announced it in San Diego, but this is actually a 12 by 12 book.
hard size of a record album.
Yeah, it's the actual size of a record album, like a heavy metal record album. If you guys haven't played this game, it's such a lost classic. Like, unfortunately, like so many of the games these guys have done.
See, the great thing about the Brutal Legend book is if you're a concept artist or if you want to go into video game design, even if you've never played the game, even if you're not a heavy metal fan, you should get this book because it goes through the design process, the thought process, the design elements, the way that they came up with the concept, put it into action, and then put it into the game. And it's just an incredibly involving book. As they did research, it's kind of funny, little anecdotes about them listening to heavy metal records endlessly, and like getting into this mode where they were just going to take everything, from Metallica, Iron Maiden, every Slayer, every single heavy metal album, and just funnel it into this crazy over-the-top game. Basically saying all that stuff that's on the cover of those albums, it's a place, and you're going to go there. So it's awesome.
The thing I actually really liked the most about this book, going through it, was so much of the stuff that actually didn't make it into the game is in the book. Like all of the original character designs, you get to see the evolution. A lot of the art books we do, you get to see sort of the final product and the sketch that became that final product. This one, you just get to see how they made that game from the ground up. And then they've got these whole sections here, which is the complete legend of the world, which if you're a comic fan or a graphic novel fan, really just, it's so amazing how much work they put into this and how much of it, the game feels like a thoroughly, imagined place. But getting to see the book it's like there's 2 or 3 games worth of material here that you're going to enjoy it. Next up, Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which we're really excited about. This is basically all of the illustrations of illustrator Noisy Ito, all of the sort of manga, light novel, promotional material, gorgeous book. And actually, Matt was just telling me there's something really neat about this one too.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys know a lot about the print process, but most books are printed in 4 colors. This one, I know they wanted to give it some extra just vibrancy, so there's like this magenta Pantone ink shadow layer on the entire book. It just gives it this extra, vibrancy.
These books each page is just going to pop. Like these illustrations, these are inks that you can't duplicate on a screen actually, so it's going to make the print process really fun for us. That's why there's no date on this one. We're gonna print this one until it looks perfect. We're really excited about this one. AKUMA, Street Fighter Legends AKUMA. This is a book, man, we promised a long time ago, and we've learned never to do that again. We're really excited about this one. This one is actually all completed now. It is done. Poor Joe has been working so hard on this for a long time. Basically, the complete life story of AKUMA from start to finish. It's pretty great. You get to see him as a boy fighting a bear. It's pretty cool. And this is going to be in our new original graphic novel series. So we've decided to stop doing comic book format stuff for the Street Fighter stuff, and instead, we're going to be printing original graphic novels at the size of our art books, the 9x12 oversized. So as great as this artwork looks, it's going to look even better when you hold it in your hands, and it's going to be huge. And that's going to be going forward for both AKUMA and Super Street Fighter, the next Street Fighter comic series. Matt, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
So this is, it's the same size in art book sized format as the AKUMA graphic novel, but this one is going to be an anthology series that continues sort of our main Street Fighter universe. So we're going to jump ahead 5 years to the Street Fighter 3 era, but you won't see just Street Fighter 3 characters, you'll see Street Fighter 4 characters we hadn't used, like Juri Hakan, the Alpha crew, basically everybody coming together at once.
You're going to see characters who've never been shown in the Street Fighter 3 timeline. You're going to see what happened to them behind the scenes for the first time.
Sure, what happened to Guile in Street Fighter 3, or what happened to Vega in Street Fighter 3, because those characters weren't in that era in the actual games. Or you'll see things like what if a Street Fighter 3 character fought a Street Fighter Alpha character that they could have never met in the actual games. And the way we're doing this is there's a main story by Jeffrey Chalmers Cruz, who's one of our longtime artists, Street Fighter artists, that sort of goes throughout the whole book, intermixed with short stories by different artists. Like Omar here did a Juri story.
It's an illustration from that.
Genzo Man, who's really big on DeviantArt, he did an 8-page story for us. We've got Sean Galloway, also known as Cheeks. Edwin Huang, who's the artist on Skull Kickers, that Image. All kinds of guys in here.
Yeah, the artwork on this is pretty phenomenal. So if you guys are fans of Street Fighter or of just amazing artwork, this is going to be a really nice move-on showcase, basically, of everything